Hey, welcome to this week's leadership video. I'm here texturing a wall because I wanted to paint the wall, and the wall was, after years, had been marked up pretty good, all kinds of things wrong with it. And so by sanding it down a little bit and then texturing it, I can cover up the mistakes. You wouldn't even know that there had been a hole right here, and yet I've got it all taken care of, covered, patched, and when I put that texture on, it covers up the mistake. But actually the hole was still behind it. You know, I think for a lot of us as Christians, we try to texture our lives. We try to cover over the areas without ever realizing that, you know what, God wants to make us new. God wants to change things in our lives. And so even as leaders, one of the things that you'll discover is that people that you are leading want to texture over their areas. They want to explain them away. They want to say, well, it's because of this or that. But as leaders, we have to keep reminding people that texture is for walls. Texture is not for our lives. We're not supposed to cover over things. Things are supposed to become new. Hold that picture there for a second. I just so happen to have a Bible with me. Always keep it with me when I'm redoing rooms. Paul's writing to the Ephesians, and he says this: "You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." That's what God calls us to do. He calls us not to texture things over, not to just cover over our mistakes, but to deal with them honestly and openly. And that we are to create an environment in our groups, whether it's the Kate's Cup group or whether it's a life group in a home or one on campus, whether it's within the elder board or the staff. Whatever the situation is, God is calling us not to cover over our issues, but to deal with them honestly, to take off the old and put on the new. Christ made us different, and we are to function that way. Hey, thanks for watching. I better get back to work before this dries too much. And I'll see you next week. Have a great week.